So, I guess I'm sort of a little bit ditto to Liz. So if I'm going to shift, for me personally, it was really profound because I've done lots of work with Jane over lots of years. But I guess I would like to emphasize more what it's done for me professionally in terms of the confidence it's given me and letting me step out of the box. And I think I always worked in the box for years and years and years. And what it did was sort of give me that ability to say, I can go out of the box and, every day I would use something that I learned from Jane in the trauma recovery training. And so for me to sort of go, oh, here's the one specific thing, whether it would be journey work or relaxation or creativeness, or I don't know that I would have one specific thing to say, oh, I learned this, because there is not a day goes by that I don't think of it. And one of the most, I think, interesting things that happens to me oftentimes, every one of us, sometimes when with a client, we get to that point where we're kind of stuck in our mind, then we go, oh, okay, now what am I going to do? And I always just sort of think, okay, what am I going to do? And I just sort of center and ground myself. I think that's one thing that I learned from Jane, was to sort of center and ground myself. And what I need will come. And inevitably a client will say to me, how did you know to ask me that question? And I'm thinking to myself, I don't have a clue. How I knew. But I think that what I learned was that confidence to just sort of reach up to Creator and just sort of go, okay, you can be out of the box. I think the other part that I would say is that was really helpful is it took for me what most people would say was a bunch of new age hocus pocus and gave some scientific credibility to it. So that you could bring it back and say, this is why we're doing this. And Liz talked about right brain, left brain. And so I think the other thing you'll learn is some really good scientific ways to make what you're doing really credible. So it won't, whether I'm dealing with physicians or lawyers or whatever, people who might challenge it, as soon as you go to this and say, well, here's some good credible information and some good scientific knowledge around it, then they sort of relax and go, oh, okay, I'll use it. And so, for me to say one specific thing, I don't know that I could do it, because I will guarantee you every day I use it and I pull it up. And I think that if you get that from something, the 2 weeks training, then you can't ask for anything more, because there's lots of training that I've taken over the years, and I don't know that I pull it up very often. I mean, I guess I do, because I get a little more eclectic, but I just use it all the time, and I pull out art stuff or journey work or whatever it is. And so in that sense, and I guess just that idea of the confidence that you derive, and I think that knowing that, as you're taking flight, there's available resources to help you and to process things with you that will help you, and that you really do get that confidence that comes, and that's a huge thing, is to have that confidence. So that would be the biggest thing I would say, and that's more from a professional standpoint. And I did what Liz said, personally, that growth came too. So I can't encourage you enough to take it. So.